And see, that's one of the reasons why using this blade in this condition is not a very good idea. If you look at the surface of this wood, it's fractured. And the wood is going to have a tendency to split rather violently in the middle of the cut, because this edge is actually beating its way through the fibers. And you can see that the surface of this wood is extremely rough right here. So you can see the blade tended to come out of the cut in that moment. So, like I said, you really want to give this a good sharpening before you take it out. Yeah. Essentially, the entire edge that was on this has completely collapsed by now. And the blade is only able to make little tiny cuts into the wood, and the surface is really rough. I'm not going to do much more cutting with the blade in this condition because it's kind of pointless. The relative performance between this and the axe is going to be horribly skewed in favor of the axe, because this is just horribly dull. But I just wanted to make an illustration of how bad it actually is when you get it. I'll resharpen it and do some more work. So here's the two pieces of wood cut. Here's the kukri piece, here's the axe piece. You can see how smooth the cut is on the axe, and how jagged, and all these little tiny cuts, where the kukri was basically making very tiny penetration into the wood and was busting it apart. So out of the box in this condition, it's going to be disappointing for a number of reasons. Cutting ability is very low, edge retention is non-existent, it's not going to be comfortable in the hand, and it's not even safe to use because it's going to tend to glance relatively easy. Good news is the sweet spot is exactly where you would want it to be, in that big hump. It has a nice length, it has a nice curvature. Looks like it should provide a lot of versatility, different cutting areas. Has a nice heft, decent weight, center mass is where you want it, out a bit on the blade, and most of the issues that I talked about can be solved just by sharpening the edge, and the other ones such as binding and sharpening and that kind of stuff can be taken care of by putting on a relief grind. So I'll do all of that, then I'll come back and have a look at this performance again. But first impressions are going to be pretty horrible. After I sharpen it, they should shape up a little bit, and once I put a primary grind on it, it should jump up and be a solid performer. And again, my only real concern about this was the same as I had with the last one. I'm concerned that the handle might split, as was noted on another YouTube video, and the link to that's in the description. And you should really check out that video. It's an excellent description of a Kukri Machete from Cold Steel. The guy really hates the handle, and that happens. Handles are very personal sensitive. I like the grip on this and the other one. They suit me very well. I like the texture, like the shape, like the size, like everything, but handles are kind of person sensitive, so it's worth checking out the other video, definitely.